One.
What's going on, friends? Hear Me Out Podcast live stream, episode 7. What's going on, gentlemen? How y'all feeling today?
All right.
Why just all
Yeah,
right, man? Why are you not feeling great? Why are you not feeling fantastic today?
I'm worn out with all the stuff going on right now with election season.
Definitely. I
yeah, I
heard you
bet,
on that
bro.
one, man.
Yeah, you got a
I
busy
think
week ahead of yourself.
I think all of us are ready to move past this week.
Yeah, but I think it's gonna be dragged out. I think everything will
That's what we're
I
hearing.
think that there's gonna be one winner without including the mail-in ballots, and then with including the mail-in ballots, there's gonna be another winner, and then they're gonna drag it out to see, oh, it was illegitimate. Oh no, it was legitimate. And then we don't
Yep.
find out who the president is until like maybe next year, and then there's gonna be riots.
Next year? For real? You think it'll take that long?
2021, as in 2021, not in like
No, I
November
know. I know.
2021. No, I mean like January. We're probably not gonna know.
So you think it'll take a month? No, 2 months for us to find out?
Yeah,
Yeah, because
they're gonna
they're
drag it
probably
out
gonna
like
try
that.
they're gonna try to
Oh
like
shit,
sue and
King.
probably gonna
They're
try to just like do everything it possibly can to muddy it up.
they're
Well,
trying
I hope
to
that's not the
create
case.
division among us as much as possible, and so they distract us with these personalities, even though they're both gonna do the same shit. They're both puppets of the corporations that buy off all our politicians.
Facts.
So where do we start, man? We're gonna start. Let's first start with what happened in Philadelphia, right? Let me go ahead and we got the live stream going. HMO live stream, episode 7, like we said. Got my boy Brooks in here. Got Franco running the
What's up?
OBS live stream today, and so we start in Philadelphia, right? So we had news that there was a 27-year-old male named Walter Wallace Jr. on Monday who was fatally shot by police officers after appeared to be wielding a knife. And apparently this guy had mental issues. His mother was there trying to console him and bring him in. And regardless, he ended up catching 10 bullets to his chest and neck area, and he passed away. Brooks, man, what are your thoughts on this? He was 10 feet away from the cops. It didn't really seem in the video like he was charging the cops. Do you think they could have diffused that situation?
Yeah, I would die saying that. If they choose, they can do it. They're more capable of doing it. If they can do it with anybody else that does not look like you, me, or Franco or Brenda, Zakia, whoever it may be, they can do it for anybody. And it's really unfortunate, man. I heard about this. I didn't want to watch the video because it just disturbs my soul to continue to watch these things. It's not it's not like the election stuff or like anything else where I'm getting desensitized to it. Like every time I hear about these things, it shatters my heart, and I don't want to watch it anymore. So I kind of just try to like, I guess you could say ignore it. But I mean the fact that these riots have happened, these violent protests have happened. 30 police officers were hurt last night. I'm not gonna say they deserved it, anything like that, but you continue to have these things happen. What do you expect people to do? Because people are sick of this. We need immediate change. We need immediate progression in our society. And when you keep on creating the same environments and keep on electing the same things and not actually voting in people that can create this change, these things continue to happen. It's like insanity. It's literally the result of insanity. We expect things to change, but we keep on doing the same thing, and we can't keep doing it.
Yeah.
Let's get Franco in on this, man. What are your thoughts on the latest police killing in Philadelphia? Well, police doing the killing, not the police being killed. What are your latest thoughts on this, Franco?
So you asked if this could have been taken down, if this could be approached differently by the police.
Could
There's
this
a
have
video-
been I
No.
guess the simple question is, could this have been a non-fatal transaction.
Yeah. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah. If you go, there's a video on YouTube. I don't have the link right now to it, but we can post it later. There's a video of UK police officers taking down a guy who had a knife in England. And it took like, I think it was like 5 of them. They were able to take him down without shooting him.
No guns?
So no gun at all. No, the
Wow.
police did not have a gun, and they were able to disarm him and arrest him without killing him. So it's possible. We can train the police to do that without killing our citizens, even if they're holding out a gun. Because what's the background with this guy? Did he have like any mental issues or something?
So that's what the people are saying, is that this gentleman had some type of mental disability, and I guess he was incoherent.
It's so archaic to just like shoot at somebody like that. If you're a police officer, rather than to just take them in and try to help them out and have them turn them into a functioning person for society.
Hey,
You know,
and you know what? This is why. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, Franco. And this is why we say like we don't need police officers to answer calls of like a mental breakdown or a psychosis situation, domestic violence. That's not what they're there. That's not what we're paying these people to do. Like, you're here to prevent crime or respond to crime, not to mental health calls. This is why we need more social workers or mental health advocates to answer these calls, not police officers.
And then the argument that some people are gonna make though is like, how is a social worker gonna take down that guy with a knife? That's why you gotta have somebody who's trained to go with them, and then the social worker tells them what to do, and the person has been trained to take down a person like that in situations like that. Like there's like martial arts and stuff that show you how you can take somebody down who is armed without killing them.
What's
I mean,
crazy
call me
to
idealistic, but I mean, we're trying to protect people. We're not trying to kill them.
That's
Exactly,
the
yeah.
goal, right? That's what I was about to get at. Is, it's crazy to me how we've seen this episode a million times, right? But still, it just keeps on happening. We don't learn, as a, I don't want to say we, because I'm not going to bunch any of us into what these cops are doing. But how do you not learn from everything else that's happened before? How do you not
They
at
don't
least take
care.
into consideration other ways that this thing could be done? Because like you said, this guy in England is going around with the knife, and he got taken down.
Yeah, I believe it
It's
was a
possible.
kitchen knife too.
It's possible. There's ways that this could be taken care of other than putting 10 bullets in his chest and his
10
neck.
bullets. Talk about like that's
But-
overkill.
That's exactly, and it just goes to show something that I've been saying all along. Every time this happens, is that it just goes to show the fear and I want to say inexperience, but these guys, they've been on the job 10, 15 years. How can you still be inexperienced to this kind of stuff and still be so scared you don't have any common sense left, that you just let your gun go? These are a bunch of insecure, fragile people with lethal weapons and little know-how. So this is going to continue happening over and over again.
They believe in
Really,
this stuff. Like this is what some of them enjoy doing, this kind of stuff. They talk
Yep,
about it amongst each other. So
Absolutely.
it's a systemic problem that's occurring in our police across the country. And
So-
we've went over this like a bunch of times now on this show, how they purposely hire people who are dumb to join the police force. Like they don't need a college education. They have like the minimum amount of training. I think it takes like less than a year for them to train.
Yeah, and that's another thing. That's another thing too. How does it take? It takes what, 7 years to become a doctor? It takes what, 3 years to become a lawyer? You gotta get a license. You gotta go to beauty school to become a cosmetologist, do hair, makeup, tattoos, whatever it may be. And you only gotta be in the police academy for what, 6 months, 7 months? It's not
really?
it's not that long of a training process to become a police officer. That's ridiculous. And I also have another point here I want to add. Of course, rest in peace, excuse me, to Walter Wallace Jr. But I also want to say rest in peace to, hold on, I have his name on my phone. His name is Karon Hilton. He was killed in D.C. over the weekend, I believe. Um, Police chased him. This is a 20-year-old black male. He was basically chased to his death by the police while he was riding a moped. The police brought him to the hospital under a John Doe name, and because he wasn't identified, they pulled the plug because his family wasn't there to advocate for him. Now there's going to be a protest in honor of this young man killed tomorrow at 7 p.m. at the 4th District police district in DC. I don't know if any of us can go, but I want to raise awareness to that issue that happened in DC in our own backyard that I'm sure none of us heard about until just now.
Yep, I was just about to say I did not hear about that one until literally just now. I want to ask you guys a question. Brooks, I'll start with you on this, man. What is the most immediate course of action that could be taken? Like, what suggestion would you give for an immediate course of action?
What we've been advocating for on this show, and in general since July, since George Floyd was murdered, just the immediate defunding and then subsequent funding to other more I guess I would say more rehabilitative people, like social workers, defund the police, fund social workers, fund mental health advocates, fund people that will do this job and not bring any harm, because it's obvious at this point that the police are there they're not there to de-escalate. They're not there to not cause any harm. They're not there to do their jobs in the most peaceful and safe manner. They're there to respond. They're there to basically they're there to just respond. They're not there to think about the situation. They're there to just do what they've been trained to do, which is arrest people, and if they have to, harm these people. And that's not what we need in this world. We need people to be able to respond to these things in a just manner and not harm people, because we shouldn't have to call police and be worried about my brother's having a mental health breakdown. Oh, don't call the police because you know what they're going to do to them. That's not what we should be worried about.
Before I pass this on over to Franco, I wanted to double down here on what you just said, Brooks. Why should people be scared to call the cops? You know what I mean? Like, there's certain situations where, I know I can't be the only one, right? But my brother and I were talking about this the other day, how there's certain situations where we feel we see something going down, right, that we probably should call the cops, where we're like, let's not do that, because that might not end up too great for the people we're calling the cops on. You know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous that we have to doubt the decision to call the people that are supposed to keep us safe, the ones that are supposed to serve and protect. They're literally out here killing people in front of their mothers. It's heartbreaking to say the least. But I guess I'll pass on the exact same question over to you, Franco.
Which was what?
Which was, what would you suggest for an immediate course of action to either, I'm not really to punish this specific situation or this specific group of police officers, but what would be an immediate course of action to really fix this problem that we have with the cops being overly aggressive to the point where they're killing people? Just
what we've been saying for like the past, what is it now? Like since July, right? We've been saying it since July, 3 months. I'm sure that we're going to keep saying it for many more months, probably more years, considering the fact that we might get, another Donald Trump presidency, or the author of the 94 crime bill, which created the systemic problems that we have now. So we're going to keep saying the same thing. Defund the police, invest in better programs like education, like like Brooks was saying, like have social workers. Like, and there's an article that I want you guys to check out. It's on Consortium News. It's written by Lee Camp. Um, it's called 19 Facts About American Policing That Will Blow Your Mind. And just right off the bat, the first fact here: police kill roughly 1,000 Americans per year. In 2016, Guardian found that American police murdered 1,093 individuals. That's 3 lives extinguished by police every day. We're clearly doing something wrong here. In the UK, the average per year is 3 murders by police, not 300, just 3. This means American police generally kill more citizens in a week than the UK will kill in a year. In 2018, Denmark and Switzerland police killed no one, 0. They literally let everyone live. And you know, how long has this been going on? This police system that we have. And it's been going on since like the slave days, like in the 1800s. It says here, as detailed in Our Enemies in Blue, the American police system originated from slave patrols, which turned the streets of towns into patrol routes for what was a quasi-military force. From its earliest days, the American model was a racist tactic to protect the higher class people from the downtrodden and oppressed. The numbers don't lie. The system has not largely changed since those early days. You know, this is something that the hip hop community from like the 90s has been like rapping about. People should check out Sound of the Police by KRS-One. It's by, there's a reason why police mainly target black people and other minorities, because that's where they come from. That's where being a police comes from. Because we didn't, what did we have before that? What did we have before having police?
What did we
We
have before
had
police?
communities took care of the situations.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. A lot of street justice going on, but
Yeah,
we'll go.
I just wanted to like put up a quote here by Michelle Alexander. For people who don't know, she's the author of The New Jim Crow. She said we need an effective system of crime prevention and control in our communities, but that is not what the current system is. The system is better designed to create crime and a perpetual class of people labeled criminals. Because we're keeping these people poor, and when these people are poor, they're going to be desperate. You know, they want to put food on the tables. They want to feed their families. But you know, if the mom is spending so much time working to make sure their kids have food, the kids are going to be wandering off and hanging out with the older people who also went through the same thing, and they're living a life of crime, and so the cycle repeats itself, and then these people get put in jail for minor offenses, for just having little bags of weed, for having fake dollars, and it's all because they just want to survive.
Yeah, man. This is like we said before, we talk about this. I feel like at least like once or twice a month. The same thing, a lot of the same calls for action, a lot of the same suggestions for answers and things like this. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think honestly we should be repeating these things until, you know, we can't let up on these kind of things on these kind of topics. But I think we go ahead and leave it at that, though. You know, R.I.P. to Walter Wallace Jr., 27 years old, killed right in front of his mother in Philadelphia, and we'll see what happens in the next coming days as far as this specific incident. And I'm just hoping we talk about this. You know, we have less of these to report to you guys in the future. But moving on to
the Walter Wallace Jr. and
Yeah, keep going to those protests, guys, because we can't let this die down. Go to your local community protests, spread the message there. Don't be afraid to speak, because we need more voices letting everybody know what the systemic problems are in our country.
Facts.
So moving on to topic number 2. I'll go ahead. Why don't you introduce this one, Franco?
Which is
The Jimmy Dore.
mainstream. Okay, yeah. Jimmy Dore talked about. I forgot
Uh,
who it was. It was mainstream media though. Do you guys remember if it was CNN or MSNBC?
So I
It
think it
was
was a CNN.
MSNBC.
Hold on, because I just watched the video like an hour ago, so I should
this
remember.
was MSNBC. MSNBC.
Yeah, so an MSNBC reporter was interviewing black people about if they're gonna vote for Biden. They were like, no, and he's like, he hasn't done anything for us. Like, and then they're like, you're not gonna vote for him just because you're not gonna vote for him. Kamala Harris is black, sort of suggesting like, just because somebody is
I don't think
black,
they
you're gonna
quite
vote
said
for
it
them.
like that. They didn't
All right,
quite say it like that.
let's play the clip right now. I'm gonna pull it up on the computer.
But that's essentially what they were getting at.
That's essentially what they said. It's like, why
That's
don't you vote for
essentially what they were
Kamala?
getting
She's black. Or why aren't you
No,
voting for Biden?
she
He
said
has Kamala.
you're not
She's
voting
black.
for Biden. You're not voting for Biden, even if Kamala is running too. That so they were kind of hinting at that a little bit for sure.
I'll pull up the clip. But yeah, go ahead and give your thoughts about it as I look for it.
I mean, it's like insulting, like that they're expecting these black ladies to vote for Biden. I mean, I think, obviously the popular thing for a lot of mainstream outlets that's not like Fox is to say, we need to vote for Biden or whatever, right? But the fact that they brought up Kamala Harris as like a I don't know, as like a prop because she's a black woman and they're talking to black women and you're not voting even though Kamala's on this ticket. That was kind of weird to me. I thought that was, a bit out of pocket. Like, they said that he didn't earn the vote. And even after they say that he didn't earn my vote, he hasn't done anything for me specifically to want to vote for him. And they throw that in there. It's insulting. You know what I mean? I thought that was kind of weird. What do you think, Brooks?
Yeah, it was insulting. And the fact of the matter is, like, and this is why we made that video last week, right, about Ice Cube,
Yeah.
and then we did a thing in response about 50 Cent, right? Ice Cube went about it the right way, in my opinion, and I think in Hear Me Out opinions as well, that, he said, what are these two people going to do for the black community? 50 Cent is creating like this whole discussion about $400,000 tax cuts and all, or not tax cuts, but tax increases for people who make that much money, and he's scared about his money. Meanwhile, Ice Cube is trying to do it for the people. That's why I stand behind him and what he said.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact of the matter is, yeah, you have a guy we have a party who don't advocate for the black community or workers' rights, and then you have another
Franco,
party who's very clear about it.
Sorry to interrupt you here, Brooks. Franco, the live stream is on unlisted still, just to point that out.
Oh, got it. Let me change that. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good.
The full thing is gonna be up after though.
Yeah, I'm recording it on my end too. No worries.
But
you were saying, Brooks?
no, I was just saying that yeah, I don't think these black women are wrong for how they feel. You can't not have anything and not have any kind of plan for the black community, for the Latin community. Like, you see why Texas has such a huge group of Latin voters that are actually voting for him. It's like, I think Trump has the edge right now, as opposed to Biden. Like, if you don't have a plan for us, then you don't deserve our vote. You don't have the right to believe that we're just obligated to vote for you just because you say what we want to hear. It's not about what you say; it's about what you do. Like, be a person of your action, or be a person of your actions.
From what I know, Joe Biden is polling more than Trump, and he's polling more than how Hillary was polling against Trump. And they're saying, oh, we took into account this time the like effect of like some people being silent and shy when asked if they're gonna vote for Trump. But if you look at the methodology for it, it's not that significant how they took into account. So you never really know who's actually gonna win until after the election, because they thought they gave Hillary Clinton, like a whole bunch of polls were giving Hillary Clinton like a 99% chance of a victory against Donald
91.
Trump. 91. Some of them were saying 91, some were saying 95, some were saying 99.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of
Jeez.
different ones.
And
right?
then we know what happened. I mean, we got Donald Trump as president. But yeah, I have the clip up if you guys want to see it.
Yeah,
Let's
make
see.
sure you unmute it too.
Yeah, you guys can see that?
Yeah, we can see it.
All right.
Black women and who say they're not going to vote for Joe Biden. And well, here's how she introduced it.
Of these women, 3 black women in their 30s, they've been asked the question. I asked it. Why are you still undecided? Boy, did I get an earful. Let's start with, they want Joe Biden to apologize for the crime bill. They want Kamala Harris to apologize for what are some of her decisions that they don't like while she was a prosecutor. And bottom line, they're tired of what they see as black women's votes being taken for granted by the Democratic Party.
Yeah, he is, man. Them and mainstream journalists.
I think that's Chris Jensen.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even think you could hear.
So here's some more of it.
I am totally undecided. I'd write your name in at this point.
Usually by now I would have voted already, but I'm just not comfortable with either one of them right now.
What are you looking for? What do you need to hear?
Let's start at the
What are you looking for?
Can you hear
What do
anything,
you need
Brooks?
to
I can't
hear?
No, I can't hear
How
it.
is the guy who wrote the
Can't really
crime
hear
bill
anything.
disappointed
as long as
you?
you can hear it on the live stream.
Yeah, the live stream can hear it.
All right, bet.
All right, I'm going
We
to just
already
leave it
seen
there.
that.
I'm going to leave it there because it's causing a little bit of a lag. You guys stop. You guys aren't seeing my screen anymore, right?
Your screen is still
I
there.
can still see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to stop that. But for some reason it's not letting me stop. Alright. It should have stopped now.
Yeah. Now it's
Nah,
not.
yeah, now we're back to normal.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much just saying the same thing that we talked about earlier. She was like, what do you need to hear from Joe Biden in order for him to get your vote? Like, basically saying, like, what more do you need to hear from him? As if he's, like, offering them stuff now. The only thing Joe Biden is offering them is just not being Donald Trump. Like, policy-wise, though, how are things going to be different?
One of the women brought up the fact that he never even apologized for
The
94 and the crime bill.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really good point in my mind. Like, you create so much division and so much problems for families with this crime bill, and you were like, you were very, very giddy about it. You were very, very frank about, oh yeah, this bill it jails everybody except for what was it, like jaywalkers, something like that. I'm
Yeah,
obviously butchering.
he's like, we pretty much hang everybody except jaywalkers in this bill.
Yeah,
He's
I mean,
bragging
and
about
that's,
it.
like, that's ridiculous. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And yeah, I think it obviously isn't gonna swing anybody towards him if he was to apologize. But I think apologizing would have been the best thing that he could have done.
And then having a plan for how to dismantle the stuff that he created, right? And it's not only
Yeah.
the 94 crime bill. When he was vice president, Barack Obama he implemented policies that allowed the military to be militarized. I mean, the police to be militarized. And a lot of those policies were Joe Biden's pet projects. I have the article that I can share for people. It showed how Joe Biden was pushing for these policies. Like, for example, one of them was you can arrest people who you deem as like being terrorists. How can they be classified as terrorists? Like, if they're out protesting, they can classify you as terrorists. And that's why you saw in Oregon in those protests and those riots. Remember, there was police that would show up in vans without any badges or anything, and then they throw protesters into the van, and people didn't know where they were being taken. That's because of Joe Biden.
That even happens.
How is
that's
that
been happening here in DC?
How is that because of Joe Biden?
Because that was his policy that he pushed Obama to implement.
But didn't Trump send those people out to Portland?
Trump sent them in, but it wouldn't have been legal for Trump to do it if that policy wasn't in place.
So it's Biden and Trump's fault.
Yeah.
Biden for implementing the policy, Trump for enacting on the policy. But that's the thing. If you create a system that allows power to abuse it on people, you're essentially doing just that. You're creating a system that allows like somebody like Trump or like another conservative, like if we had like a George Bush type Republican, they would also enact the same things because the person before them, the president before them, that administration made it possible for them to do it.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to Aaron Bermudez. He's been on this show before.
Oh hell yeah, he's been vocal.
He's been like enlightening me for sure on Instagram just about like a lot of the stuff that's been going on in our backyard in DC and how people are always, let me not say always, but people have been getting like arrested and taken away on the streets because of these harmful policies, along with the fact that like there was a little girl or a young woman that was she basically had police in her house because they were saying, oh yeah, we got a call about this, that, and the third, something bad that they believe was going on, and it was because of like I said, harmful policies. And the more we talk about this, the more like hesitant I am to even cast a vote for Biden, because I'm starting to understand just how bad of a person he is. Like there really is not that much of a difference between the two, other than the fact that Biden isn't Trump. Like how can you vote for that? It's really hard. And
I heard sorry to cut you off there. I heard Ice Cube, right, when he was talking about I think Jimmy Dore played that clip in that video that y'all were just showing right there. So Ice Cube was saying how we vote or not we, but like Biden gets elected in, right? And then what happens within the first 100 days? Like, what's the plan? There is no plan. But my question goes the same way. I mean, if we're going to hold one side to accountable, we should be looking at the other side too. What would the Republicans' plan be within the first 100 days of a Trump re-election?
What would their plan be? You get the same exact answer that the Democrats would give you, and that's just the status quo continues. So then what's the point in voting for either one?
So no real clear-cut winner here.
No. The difference is insignificant. It's like arguing like what poison you would prefer to die from.
Basically,
like why would you choose? Why would you even want to die from poison? Like, why are you even arguing that? Why don't you like fight so that you don't get poisoned?
And what would that be in your what would the non-poisonous
protesting
what would the non-poisonous
option
option
so that
be?
we don't keep having this over and over again every election season? Inform yourself, go out to protest, inform others there. You can start YouTube channels like what we're doing right now to reach a audience like all across the world. You can also vote for local candidates in which you have the most control over. You have the most influence over your city council members and your mayors. You can inspire people to run for political office, to be city council members or to be mayors. And then
so that's more of like a long-term thing then.
The other thing is even more long-term though, because you're just doing the same thing every 4 years, and then you're like 50 years later, you're wondering, oh shit, like where are we at? I've just been voting for the president these like every 4 years, and I have no idea who my city council members are, mayors, and like I haven't been going to any of these protests. All I've been doing is voting for presidents, thinking that's going to create changes.
Yeah, that's one thing we tend to say a lot on this show. Definitely we should be looking into who are our local officials. Who should we be voting in our states? You know, we're in Maryland, obviously, so we're trying to see like what can we do here in Maryland first before we can expect something real to happen in the big boy house out in Washington D.C. Yeah, man. You know,
Yeah.
this whole election thing has been real crazy, man. It's as Franco said, it's been a very successful, a very successful vehicle to make people very divisive, to make people
Yeah.
to pit people up against each other.
When you focus on like the surface level issues, it certainly does
Yeah.
that. And then people don't realize like us minorities and the racist working class white people, we're all being oppressed. And not all the working class white people are racist, but we're all being oppressed by the same people. Like, we need to realize that we have more in common with each other than we do with the billionaires that pay off the politicians, and we have more in common with each other than we do with the politicians.
Yep.
But yeah,
And
go ahead, Brooks, and then I'll talk about this article.
I'll say this. Like I said, what I mentioned with the 50 Cent thing, right? And how he was mad about people that make $400,000 getting texts more heavily than anybody else, right? And then people are on Twitter talking about, oh, this is such a bad thing. Oh, I'm not making $400,000 right now, but I could in the future. What? What? Like, what are you doing? That's not what matters right now. Like, have some solidarity with like the people that you're with right now. Like,
Yeah, they
vote
think
for what matters now, not in the future.
they
You know
think
what I
they're
mean? Like,
they think they're gonna be millionaires or billionaires in like 5 years
and
or 10 years.
you know how hard that is. Like, that's literally 1% of the population that making that type of money. Like, and I'm not gonna poo poo on anybody's parade and say, oh, you're not gonna be making that much money, but the chances are very, very slim to even make that type of money. Like, you need to be some type of like super exploitive person to make that kind of money, and that's not the type of people that we need. Like, empathize with your neighbors, empathize with the people that you hang out with every day, not the people
Agreed.
making that kind of money when chances are it's not going to happen for you. And again, I don't want to poo-poo on anybody's parade, but be realistic, guys. Like, don't listen to someone like 50 Cent, who, like I called him,
Or Lil Pump.
or Lil Pump.
What is
Like,
Lil
these
Pump
are literal,
said?
these are
Lil
literal
Pump,
agents
Lil
of
Pump was
chaos.
just saying the same shit, man. You know, fuck Biden. I'm not paying all that taxes. Trump 2020, bitch. Lil
Yeah.
Pump probably does not know the fucking
Pledge of Allegiance.
have
even.
the slightest idea about anything outside of his own little bubble, and
Yeah.
you know, I don't think anybody should be listening to or should be going to Lil Pump for political advice
Of course not.
or
Or 50 Cent.
yeah,
Or 50.
or 50
I mean,
Cent, man.
Talk
you
to
don't even
people
gotta listen- you don't
who
even-
know their history. Like, for example, Ice Cube. You can tell
I was
the
about
man
to
has
say,
been
take
reading
Ice
a
Cube's
lot.
word more for it.
But yeah,
Ice Cube is a much more credible source.
you guys see the article, right, that I have up sharing with you guys on
Yep.
on Skype.
Yeah.
So it's on the it's on HuffPost. It's called 7 Ways the Obama Administration Has Accelerated Police Militarization. And you guys asked about like what were some of Joe Biden's pet projects. Here's one. The Byrne Grants. In 1988, Congress created a new federal crime fighting program called the Byrne Grant, named for Edward Byrne, a New York City narcotics officer killed by a drug dealer. Over the years, these grants have created multi-jurisdictional anti-drug and anti-gang task forces all over the country. Because these task forces usually cover more than one jurisdiction, they often aren't fully accountable to, say, a police chief or an elected sheriff. Moreover, they're often funded either with additional Byrne grants or with money seized in assets forfeiture proceedings. They can operate with little or no funding from the policies
Policies to
police.
police?
Yeah, I think they were
From the
trying to say
people to police?
policies. But pretty much what this does is like you can send in SWAT teams to like houses of people who have like marijuana. So it says like
This is probably what contributed to Breonna Taylor
exactly
being killed, right?
Yeah, they said they come on helicopters, military style, SWAT style, Kelly said. In the apartments I was living in the projects, there were a lot of children outside playing. They don't care. They throw kids on the ground, put guns to their heads. They're kicking in doors. They just don't care. The George W. Bush administration had actually begun phasing out the burn program. It had been funded at a $500 million per year through most of the Clinton presidency. By the time he left office in 2008, Bush had parted to $170 million a year. But the grants have long been a favorite of Vice President Joe Biden. And so Obama campaigned on fully restoring their funding, declaring that the Burn Grant Program has been critical to creating the anti-gang and anti-drug task forces our communities need.
But hold on. Can I ask a question here?
Yeah.
Why are we reading this because of the Portland thing?
This is related to something else. Like, there's so many different things that occur that are involved with how the police is militarized. Like, kidnapping people is one aspect. This aspect here is sending in SWATs, like without warrants and stuff, to people's houses who they consider to be drug dealers. And so
I'm saying though, like, what made you bring this up though?
that's another one. So let me look for that. But
I'm saying, like, what made you bring up the article, the whole entire, like, link? The
whole entire link is about how the Obama administration accelerated the police militarization.
I know. I'm saying, like, what is this in reference to?
This is in reference to how Joe Biden, a lot of his pet projects for militarizing the police, which, you know, causes them to abuse their powers and act like a fascist state in the way that they treat people and treat minorities.
In response to when you asked, oh, why are we blaming Biden for this when Trump enacted the policy, right? Mm-hmm. This is Biden's policy that
I didn't say that. I just said it. I said it's both their doings. I didn't say it was just one or the other.
The original question was, why are we blaming that? And then that's a conclusion that you came up with. But okay, I'm just helping along with the thing.
Gotcha. No, I was just curious. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I was just wondering.
The thing is, like, again, one pushed for the policies to pass, the other one enacted on the policies that otherwise wouldn't have been there.
Because they exist.
Yeah, that otherwise wouldn't have been there if they weren't pushed for.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and there's a bunch more here. The cops grants.
Put this link in the description for anybody that may want to, like, read the whole thing.
Yeah. Definitely check it out, guys.
Link in the description for anybody that wants to read all 7 of these.
Our problems are not going to be solved by voting for whatever Democrat is running. And I'm not going to voter shame you, but be conscious when you cast that vote. If you're casting it, nothing's going to fundamentally change, just like Joe Biden said.
He did say that.
The status quo is going to continue. You guys can't see my screen anymore, right?
No, it's still there.
Yeah. It might just be there you go.
There we go.
So what's the next topic, Mr. Pedro?
Check that link. We'll move on to the next topic, but for anybody that wants to read more of what Franco just pulled up on the screen, check the link in the description momentarily. It should be down there. But we'll go ahead and leave off we'll leave off on that one. So the next topic, I guess we could start with was Pat Riley, man. Pat Riley been a salty old man these days, man. So I just want to go ahead and start by saying this, man. Obviously, for those that don't know, Pat Riley came out and basically said what we were talking about last week, or I think maybe 2 weeks ago on the show, was should this championship that LeBron and the Lakers just got done winning have an asterisk next to it due to all the circumstances, even down to the last series in the finals with the injuries of Bam Adebayo, Goran Dragic, and Jimmy was hurt and all this. And now Pat Riley is going out and basically saying the same shit, that it should have an asterisk because if they had a healthy squad, that they would have taken it to 7 games. I think it's stupid for him to come out now and say this, because it's all, it's water under the bridge at this point. What's done is done. It's a lot of what ifs, you know what I mean? Like, but
exactly
the same what ifs that we give Michael Jordan, like what if he didn't have Scottie Pippen? What if he didn't pass it to Steve Kerr? What if this, that, we need to give LeBron the same benefit of the doubt here. Stop with the what ifs. I love Michael Jordan, but I'm tired of this whole the narrative that LeBron James has been getting with what could have and should have and this and what could have, should have, and would have happened. It's super annoying. Pat Riley has been salty ever since July 11th. Of 2014, when I'm coming home. He's been salty ever since, man. I'm tired of his ass, man. I'm tired of Pat Riley talking about this asterisk, talking about LeBron James running through the first door. It just seems like sour grapes to me. It seems like if the shoe was on the other foot and they had won the series, that they would just be killing LeBron James, and there would be no asterisks for the Miami Heat. It's fucking ridiculous, Brooks. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, I mean, and I love Pat Riley, man. I love the Godfather. I love the swag he's got. I love being able to just put the what he's got what, like 6, 7 rings, right? Being able to just put them in a bag, throw them on the table, be like, you want to win a ring? Come sign with Miami. I love that. Like, how great of a pitch is that? You know what I mean?
It's a good pitch.
If Pat Riley pitched me that at a free agent meeting, I would automatically say yes. I'm coming to Miami. Like,
for real? Automatically?
I wouldn't have much of a thought. Like, he's a proven winner. It's hard to disagree with that. But yeah, I mean, Pat Riley is a notoriously bad loser. The guy hates losing just as much as anybody would hate winning, or the guy hates losing as much as anybody loves winning, I should say. Excuse me. Yeah, this is sour grapes. This is a bad take. 2020 championship is not an asterisk. Like, you had to have a different type of level of commitment to succeed in this bubble. Like, look at the Clippers, right? From the beginning, they didn't want to be in the bubble, and it showed in their play. End up losing in 7 games by over 20 points to the Nuggets. The Lakers, they wanted to be there. They played like it. They were rewarded for that commitment to winning. So were the Nuggets. So were the
sounds like mental toughness to me.
Yeah, it's an ability to be mentally tough that everybody else didn't have, except for the Miami Heat, for actually being able to beat the Suns. I mean, not the Suns, but the Pacers, the Celtics, whoever else they beat, like, and the Bucks, excuse me, not to disrespect the Bucks and Giannis. But yeah, I mean, this is a bad take, and Pat Riley, I expect better from you. But at the same time, I also know that you don't like losing, so I understand. But shame on you. No better, bro.
I hate losing as much as the next guy, and honestly, man, when I'll be honest with you, man, I feel like I lost like an internal battle with myself when I came on the show 2 weeks ago and I said LeBron James, the greatest basketball player of all time, due to this final accomplishment. I remember the day Franco asked me this. Franco said to me, he said, we were at the Gaithersburg pool, right? He said to me, he said this. He says, do you think that LeBron's better than Michael Jordan? I said, no, I don't. And that's because of the accomplishment. It's because, he had his flame out in 2011, but everything he's done since then, and, this last accomplishment that he did, it pushed him over the top. And I felt like I lost an internal battle, but you didn't see me come out here and lie to myself. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and myself and everybody else and talk and still claim MJ is the GOAT when I have all this stuff to base off of, that I have all these arguments I can diffuse my own stance on. So I felt like I lost that internal battle, but you didn't see me sour grapes out here, man. And I know I'm not Pat Riley, obviously, but man, this guy is talking about something that you can't control. You know, you can't control injuries. You can't control, obviously, the circumstances, COVID and all this. So to say that it's an asterisk would be different if LeBron James were like let's say they have a Houston Astros type of thing where like in 2 years LeBron James got caught cheating or like he was doing steroids or something like that.
God forbid.
That's an asterisk.
Yeah.
But as far as what really went down, stop it, man. There's absolutely no asterisk next to this series. And as far as I'm concerned, man, they'll be back next year, man. Just calm down, bro. Like y'all be fine, man.
I've said this over and over again, not just on Hear Me Out, but on Hop, on Ian Evans's podcast, The Impact, on Hoop Talk, on anybody else's.
Shout out to all of them.
Shout out to all of them, man. Great podcasters, great people, great writers, all that. At the end of the day, you play who's in front of you. So if I have to play Pedro, I have to play Franco in order to become like let's say like one-on-one champion, I'm going to have to beat them. And you have to give me my props because that's what I did. You know what I mean? LeBron James, he dominated the Blazers. He dominated the Nuggets. Who did he play in the second round?
Houston. It went Portland, Houston, and Denver.
Yeah, I don't know why I can never remember that. That's really bad. Either way, he dominated who was in front of him. He won, and that's that. So stop crying, stop being a baby, and just accept the fact that you lost, bro. It's okay. Maybe you can come back in next year or whenever. But yeah,
that'll be fine, man. But I want to revisit a conversation that we had, Brooks, and we can make this one real quick. I want to revisit this Russell Wilson conversation, man. Do you still got him as your best player in the NFL following the bag that he fumbled this past Sunday, bro?
I can't even. I mean, he fumbled the bag over the fact that he turned the ball over 3 times, including the game-sealing interception for the field goal. But I still say he could win. I still think he has a chance to win the MVP. I mean, obviously, like Arizona's looking really good. They're 5-1. You know what I mean? Yeah. Kyler Murray, he stepped up huge. Like, and he had the ultimate confidence. Yeah, he had the ultimate confidence to make the plays he made, right? That throw to DeAndre Hopkins for a touchdown, right? Dude smiled when he saw that matchup with Hop. And he threw that ball, no hesitation at all. Bro, think about the fact. Think about all the confidence you have to do that, plus the disrespect in your heart to just say,
bro.
Seattle isn't the Legion of Boom anymore. I'm gonna just throw this pass and F it.
Oh my god.
Who does that, bro? Like, what was more impressive to you, that touchdown, or the one that Russell Wilson threw to Tyler Lockett, that absolute dime? Which one was better to you?
Russell Wilson, man. That was the throw of the night, man. That shit. Look, Mahomes got more arm strength, but nobody throws a more accurate deep ball than Russell Wilson in the league, man. Russell Wilson, he just, oh my god, he put it in like a. You ever seen like those old NFL commercials where they were like doing these ridiculous like fake shit, like trash cans moving, and they're like,
that's exactly what he did, bro.
Incredible,
right into the bucket, bro.
Incredible. He put it into like he threw that shit into like the smallest possible window. And Tyler Lockett, man, 53 points on fantasy. The guy had 180 plus, 3 touchdowns, 15 receptions. The most complete game that I have seen any player from any position play this year, aside from maybe like Tom Brady last week or something, man. They've been phenomenal. But let's move on to this the next guy I just mentioned, Tom Brady. I'm a big time Tom Brady hater, but I got to be honest with you, man. I got to give the guy his props because at age 43, he's now thrown 18 touchdowns. He just became the number 1 all-time touchdown thrower in the NFL with 559. I think he's at 560 now.
He got Drew Brees?
He just got Drew Brees. Drew Brees is going here. Like that cliff that Max Kellerman always talks about. Drew Brees is starting to slide down.
That's
In
no
the meantime, you got this man, that little cliff. Tom Brady got parachutes flying right over that bitch. 43 years old, and he's dominating. He's now entered the MVP race. Where do you rank him in the MVP race or the ranking for best quarterback in the league?
And before I answer that question, I also want to point out the fact of what I sent you on Instagram, right? 18 touchdowns Brady has, 3 touchdowns that Cam Newton and Jarrett Stidham have, right? Is that how you pronounce his name? Stidham? Yeah, that's crazy, bro. And it's looking like more and more every day that Tom Brady might have won that deal to Tampa Bay over Bill Belichick with Cam Newton. Especially when you had to bench him for three interceptions. And I'm not gonna completely blame Cam you can blame Cam for his performance, but I'm also not gonna say he's a bad quarterback because he's still recovering from COVID, right? He's still dealing with whatever health issues come with that and getting back into game shape, all of that. I want him to succeed because he's on a prove-a-year deal. Like, he has to do well. He has to prepare himself. He said it to himself. Keep playing like shit. They're gonna make that benching permanent. And that's not what we want for the guy. That's not what I want for the guy because I'm a fan of him. I love the Superman thing. I love the swag he brings to the game. I love his fashion is over the top. But I have nothing but love for Cam Newton. With that being said, as far as where he is in the MVP ladder, man, it's hard for me because I haven't been able to watch as much about him as maybe you have. But I still put him on like that third rung of the ladder, right? Like here's Russell Wilson, here's Mahomes, and then here's Brady, right? Brady is like LeBron in the sense that every year he's an MVP candidate. Every year we see he is the most valuable player in the league. Year in, year out, he always produces, just like LeBron James does. And then you have these two young pups coming in, basically putting up monster numbers. So that's just how I feel about him. I don't think at 43, you shouldn't be giving anybody an MVP at 43, playing as long as he has. And I've said the same thing about LeBron James. I don't think LeBron James is gonna win another MVP. He can put up MVP numbers, but he's not gonna win another one. And that's how I feel about Brady. Yeah, I'd rather see Russell Wilson win an MVP, especially when he's been able to do so. He's been playing at an MVP level for the last 3 seasons. Yeah, I'd rather see that than Tom Brady do it. Tom Brady is the GOAT. He's a load, as Pedro says. But yeah, to me, he's the GOAT. 6 rings. He's got as many rings as one franchise, bro. Think about that. Who can even boast that type of record? Like maybe Joe Montana, maybe I don't even know. Maybe Terry Bradshaw, maybe. Like there aren't that many quarterbacks that can even say that.
You're gonna think I'm crazy for what I'm about to say, Brooks, but I got Tom Brady tied at 3 in the MVP ladder. He's tied at 3 with Russell Wilson. I got Mahomes at number 1. Okay. I got Aaron Rodgers at number 2. And then I got Russell Wilson and Tom Brady battling it out. And as of right now, based off of their latest performances, I'm going to have to give Tom Brady the edge over Russell Wilson. Say what you want. Russell Wilson's in a tougher division. Yeah. I know people probably kill me for that. But Aaron Rodgers, I think, has been the most slept-on quarterback because we talk about how great – oh, shit. You there, Brooks? Okay, there you are.
Yeah.
So
Frank,
we
are
talk
we still
about.
Are we still on OBS? Is he there? Yeah, I know he's muted. Keep talking, bro. It doesn't matter.
Don't worry. I got a recording on my end.
Yeah. We'll be straight.
So you got Tom Brady entering the MVP chat at 43, right? And no one's talking about Aaron Rodgers at age 37, and he's playing at a phenomenal level. This guy is playing better than Tom Brady. Man. He's playing. He is an incredible guy with basically not brand new, but like a new coaching staff with Matt LaFleur in them, with a somewhat of a new offense. And this guy is just playing incredible football, Aaron Rodgers, and people are not giving him enough credit for basically dominating that division and just being a great quarterback at his age. And he's got to be up there for me personally, number 2. And Mahomes, he's only thrown 1 interception with like what, couple hundred pass attempts, man. This guy is pinpoint with all his passes. I know it's a lot of dropped interceptions that people probably refer to, but I'm gonna go Mahomes. Call me biased. I don't give a fuck. Mahomes is my MVP right now.
That's all right.
Aaron Rodgers is number 2. Tom Brady is number 3, and Russell Wilson is 3A or 3B, whichever one you want to call it.
I'll say this about Aaron Rodgers too. He was finally able to get out from that chokehold that Mike McCarthy had on him, right? And now he's looking like the most talented quarterback he's been for the decade he's had, right?
Facts.
You know what I mean? What are the Packers' record now?
The Packers are 5-1 now.
5-1, yeah, they're looking very, very good, especially in the tough division like they are in. Like, yeah, the dude, he's a bad man at Stephen A. And I would say he's definitely one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league right now, maybe possibly even ever. I mean, yeah, and I'm a huge Aaron Rodgers fan. Like Pedro, you know that. I'm a fan of his.
Yep.
But
definitely.
Yeah, it's just crazy, man.
Incredible, man.
And you bring up a good point that he is putting up MVP numbers, and maybe I can redo my ladder, right? Maybe Tom Brady is 4th, and then Aaron Rodgers is over him. I can make a case for either or, right? But yeah, Aaron Rodgers is my guy, and he's definitely my guy over Russell Wilson or Pat Mahomes. But
sure,
you know, well, that's another discussion.
Sure. Yeah, man. So I think we can go ahead and leave it off at that. Yo, Franco, are you there?
He's probably talking to Ashley or whatever.
My man has some. He's heating up his dinner right now or something.
Yeah, he's on mute right now. He's chilling.
We're still live. All right, it's all good. But I think I would say we could leave it at that. There he goes. There he goes.
What's up, man? You getting ready for dinner or something?
Huh? I was doing a little bit of. I was looking for this article I wanted to send my friend, but.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, so I think we're about through with our topics for today's live stream, HMO live stream. I apologize.
Right.
Our final topic.
That'll be our last. Yeah, that'll be our last one.
Our final topic of the evening here. So let me get this. Let me get this running here real quick. All right. Bow. All right. So the final topic of the day is going to be the Lakers' latest news. They come out. You know, this is the most polarizing team in the sport. You know, they got the most polarizing athlete. Of course, we're going to talk about them. The Los Angeles Lakers. You got veterans on the team, and Danny Green was the one that came out and said they will not play for at least the first month of the season if it were to start on December 22nd. Sheesh. Because you had this deep playoff run. You got guys who are getting older in age, you know, 30, 31, 32, 33, in LeBron's case 35, about to be 36. And they just came off of this run. But do you think that it's the right move for him to come out and say, nah, man, we shouldn't be starting December 22nd? Do you think that they should be starting at a later date?
I do think they should be starting at a later date. I was thinking January, February at worst. And it's a little hard for me to empathize with the guy who he literally had 5 months off before the bubble even started, right? And then they played for 107 days. They played 24 games, something like that, over 107 days. Like, it's hard for me to really be compassionate about that. At the same time, like, I also understand body's different at 35 and 36 as well. Like, you have a bunch of vets. I would certainly understand not wanting to play immediately December 22nd. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, dude, you have 5 months off. You didn't play every day, like, and we know for a fact that you put in $1 million a year on your body. Like, you can probably handle that. At the same time, though, and I keep on like defusing my arguments with this, but like, you don't want to be like the NFL, right? NFL doesn't have any preseason games, and now they're dealing with this huge rush of injuries. OBJ tears his ACL. Dak Prescott breaks his leg. You have all these crazy things happening. You don't want to run down the body, especially your biggest.
Sucks.
Your big, yeah, it really does. You don't want to destroy your biggest asset in LeBron James. So I understand not wanting to play, but at the same time, I can't empathize with the fact that he just had 5 months off, and he played 24, 25 games in 107 days. Like, I think he can handle it. I think the Lakers can handle it. You have to get these non-bubble teams some competition because they've had it's been at least 8 months, 7 months since they last played a game. Yeah, that wouldn't be fair to them to have to push back the season even longer, and then they wouldn't have been able to play in 10 or 11 months. You have to sacrifice something here.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that they should start the season on the 22nd. That I think that these guys, like you said, they had all this time to rest. That's my main thing, is that you had a big chunk of time in between to go ahead, rest up, and they went and they played from August, September to October. So they had a 4-month gap. They played 3 months, and now they're going to get 2 more months. So this is essentially like a 6-month non-concurrent off season. That is the longest by far ever. No professional sports league gets that much time off. Obviously, they're not gifting these guys time off. It's because all the shit that was going down. But, dude, it's time, man. These other teams been ready to play. Obviously for the league, financially, they already lost $1.5 billion, and they're going to be sacrificing even more to miss out on Christmas games, to be missing out on New Year's games, to be potentially missing the All-Star break if they start towards the end of January, early February. Like you said, they will probably lose the All-Star game. A matter of fact, there probably won't be an All-Star, or if there is going to be an All-Star game this year, it'll be sometime in maybe like March or April.
I mean, hopefully they can get an All-Star break in general, because I think they said 72 games. 72 games straight that's difficult.
That's difficult. Guys are going to get hurt.
Yeah, and this isn't to say that we're always on the side of the owners or whatever, because I think I can only speak for myself, but I think we're a players first type of podcast. Like, we're going to empathize with those guys first. Definitely. But in the case of this, no, you have 5 months off. You only played 25 games. I think you can handle a little bit of a small break there. I wouldn't blame them for not playing, but then it also opens you up to another thing, right? You have people complaining about, and this is like a years old argument, right? People always complaining about, these guys are always
my boy Brooks done froze on us. There you go.
They're scary. They don't want to play the games. In the 90s, everybody played 82 games, blah, blah, blah. You're opening yourself up to that again. And I personally think it's a good idea to freeze yourself out of games sometimes to be healthy for the long run. Because at the end of the day, what matters most is the championship. Kawhi Leonard, him taking off 20 games was important because then he had more leg, more power to dominate everybody in the postseason. LeBron James is the same thing. So, yeah,
I would they could just load manage. But then that'll really hurt their chances. I think for Danny Green to come out and make those statements, it almost comes across as kind of like only thinking about the Lakers. They're not really thinking about all the other teams that didn't even go to the bubble. Some of these teams have not played a game since March 13th. So you got to think about the league as a whole. You got to think about, how this can be financially impactful on everybody. And truthfully, even down to the arena employees, like those people need work, you know what I mean? So to be saying, let's push it back another month, it's not really helping anybody but maybe the Lakers and the Heat. But I don't know, man. I say get back out there December 22nd. But I'm not saying I don't want anybody to say that I'm telling people to shut up and dribble, because I am not doing that. Y'all say what you want, do what you want, push for whatever you want. I personally think that the NBA starting December 22nd, it's fine. It's cool with me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we can go ahead and leave it out at that, man. Let's get Franco back in here. Franco, you there?
There you go.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So just one last thought here to close it out. And anything you guys want to leave the viewers with? Franco, start with you.
Just keep checking in the HMO podcast. We cover a lot of great stuff from pop culture to politics and sports. If you want to
Progressive
go into more
politics.
detail with politics, then I cover a lot of politics on my channel, Frank Analysis. You can also check out these fine gentlemen's own YouTube channels as well. The Hot Media with Brooks and Drones by Dro with Pedro. So you guys
Yes,
want to talk
sir.
a little bit about that before you guys head out?
Yeah, so I'll let Brooks go ahead and tell us about Hot Media, man. What should we know about Hot Media?
Man, gonna be covering some WNBA stuff. We're gonna be releasing a WNBA video, 2 of them,
Nice.
3 of them. As soon as I get off my ass and start editing them, because I keep on loafing. They will be coming out though. Don't worry about that.
Real soon.
Gonna have something written pretty soon for you guys too. That should be fun. Can't wait to put that out for you guys. And like I said, and like Franco said, definitely subscribe to these guys. Follow them on Twitter, Instagram, Frank Analysis, Drones by Dro, Damn It Dro, Beef. Was it Franco's? Yours is B43 Franco.
That's right, yeah. And
B43 Franco.
shout out to the HMO family too. Show a lot of love here in the chat. Bruno and Brendoza. We really appreciate you
Bruno's in the
guys.
chat. What's up, Bruno?
Yeah.
Shout out to the first ladies, man. Ashley, Zakia, and Brenda, always supporting everything that we all do.
Yes,
and,
sir.
And just being our rocks, being phenomenal women, and I'm very, very, happy and thankful, obviously, for Brenda, and I know y'all are thankful for your lovely girlfriends as well. And just thank you guys always for supporting us. It means so much to us. And the last thing I want to say here is this, man. I think that the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, has far too many rules about far too many regulations and rules that are mixed in with hobbyist drone pilots. I have the Part 107 license, which is, I'm essentially I'm a licensed pilot, whatever that means, right? But I think that there should be a completely separate set of regulations or maps of where we can and cannot fly based off of, having this license. It is rather easy to get it, but I think once you get to a certain point, you should not be mixed in with everybody else and have all these regulations. I had, to go through TSA, had to even, if you want to fly a drone in DC, you literally have to call the Secret Service to get the final okay. So it's far too many rules and regulations with the drone stuff. I've been tuning into a lot of FAA live streams, like their Zoom meetings and whatnot, and things that they plan on changing and whatnot. One of these days, tune into the Drone by Dro channel. I think I might even start dropping some drone stuff on Hear Me Out. If you guys fuck with it, I might just go ahead and drop a video there. But I'm gonna link up with a couple of drone pilots, and we're gonna talk about what the FAA should and should not be doing, just from our standpoint, giving suggestions and whatnot. But it's ridiculous the amount of the amount of hoops that we have to jump through just to get a nice picture on Instagram or to be able to do a simple job.
Jeez.
It's crazy, man. Drones are not as dangerous and as harmful as the FAA says that they are, that the government thinks that they are, man. And we're not dropping off anthrax, okay? We're fucking flying drones, okay? This is how some people like myself put food in our stomachs. So things like this can affect people financially, and hopefully we see a day where it's not as regulated, but we need to do our part in the meantime as drone operators to make sure that we're not breaking the rules that are in place and messing it up for everyone else. So that's really all I got to say about that. Hear Me Out podcast, the latest in sports, pop culture, progressive politics. It really helps out when y'all share these, share our channels, all of our channels. It really helps out when you share to other people. If you know somebody that's into politics, send them Frank Analysis. If you know somebody that's into sports, send them Hear Me Out and Hot Media. If you know somebody into drones, send the drone stuff. It really helps out sharing these with your friends, dropping a like on the video. If you want to get into a new YouTuber, maybe even hit us with a little binge watch if you got some time on your hands. It really helps out a lot, the watch time, the likes, all that. We really appreciate all the support over the years, and especially in 2020 where we've been able to accumulate over 140,000 views for the channel. And really, we appreciate everybody, man. Like I said, the HMO First Ladies, you know, my brother is in the chat. And everybody that's that supports us here, like locally, and everybody on the World Wide Web. So much love to everybody. We appreciate every single one of you guys.
Yes, sir. Stay informed, and we are out. Bang.
Informed. Bang bang.